Okay, so I think it's not perfect right now, but it's okay enough that people can see, and everything is here.
If I pop out the chat to this place, can you see it?
I can't, but it's fine. I have the chat on the other side.
Okay.
So I
No, because then I have the chat inside as well.
I have the table big. I have your camera on the top bottom left corner. I have my camera on the top right left corner, and then if you do a replay, just put it there where the table right now is. So
You lost me at bottom left corner.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So if you do have a replay.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
So if you open the replay, just make it big and make it replace the table. Yeah. That's fine. So yeah.
Something like that?
Something like that. Looks good. Alright, perfect. Can get started here. So this is a $5 Zoom coaching session with Mr. David. And David is a beginner in PLO, but the experienced No Limit Hold'em sit and go player. So.
You're coaching an Australian? Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate. Alright. Alright, mate.
Okay. I played Omaha like really occasionally, but I'm not sure if I'm beating NL5 even. Playing since 2009, sitting goes mainly 50-50s at the moment, up to $200 buy-ins. At the moment, $50 to $60 buy-ins, because they don't open up anymore. So that's why I need to change my strategy, I guess, and find a new game.
Alright. Sounds reasonable.
I just started, do I? Or...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Guess who's back? First in, I would raise it.
Sure.
Is it always max?
I think at these stakes you always want to go pot, because...
That's a call.
Sure.
What is that even? Okay, we have a gut shot, and the rest is shit. I would simply fold here.
Yeah. Don't think it's super interesting to talk about this one.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah. Correct. Just play for now, like, you don't need to, you don't need to ask for permission to do an obvious play.
Okay.
Like, just do it. If it's wrong, then I will tell you afterwards.
When it's wrong.
Not terrible.
Not terrible. What about decent?
Yeah. The hand has some issues in multiple pots.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's very hard to get the nuts. But, hey, it's cheap enough, so.
Yeah. I'm not sure out of position calling here. I do like kind of the hand, but the thing is it's split due to the 10 queen.
Doesn't really matter. If you're heads up, you will always have good equity to call.
Okay.
Just because domination is not so big of a problem heads up. The jack flush draw will still have some value heads up.
Yeah, yeah, true. So what do we got? We got... I'm gonna check, because he's gonna bet anyways.
Sure.
And I don't want to blow up the pot. I would assume that the flush draw is okay. Well, I guess by now he has me beat, yeah?
It doesn't matter. Like, you have enough equity to continue in the hand.
Okay.
You can't fold. Folding this would be ridiculous.
Okay, I would fold. now I would. I wouldn't bluff him, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you have King Jack, that's decent hand. If he bets, he's saying he has us beat. If we believe him, we should probably fold.
Yeah, I'm gonna fold.
Yeah. So let's go sitting off maybe and talk about this one.
Right now, or
Yeah, right next hand. I don't think we care about the 5 cent big blind. It's not that important.
my bankroll.
So let's bring up the last hand.
Yeah. Come on.
So obviously when we are defending our big blind, we don't need as good of a hand because we're getting a good price from the pot.
Yeah.
And even though the opponent is opening from early position, and our hand is probably not the best hand, pre-flop at least, in equity, it doesn't matter that much. You're getting a good price, and against one player, it's really hard to be super dominated. Like, what is he gonna have? Like, even if he has the ace, king, queen, jack with ace high hearts, that's still, you will still have 35% or so pre-flop equity.
Really?
Yeah. And you can try to represent small cards which are unlikely to hit him. Because if the flop is 4, 5, 6, his range will have almost no hands that can continue. And if you just bet out, then he will fold pretty often. So on the flop, we have top pair, we have a gut shot, we have a decent flush draw. So since we also have showdown value with the top pair, there's no reason to make an aggressive move. You don't want to get the money all in here now. You're just looking to see the next card kind of cheaply. And also would not have a leading range on this type of board. Just because it hits the undergun range a lot harder than yours. So easy check call. On the turn, we improved on open ender. And we still have the flush draw and we still have the top pair. So this is enough of a hand to call any size bet.
Okay, but there's no way that I'm gonna like
check raise.
Take a step here, check raise here.
Well, if you've without any reads, I would say no.
Okay.
But if you think your opponent is betting this turn too light and too wide,
I don't think so actually.
With a lot of garbage hands and a lot of draws, then maybe just shoving here is okay. I wouldn't do it as a standard though.
Okay.
But you can certainly continue, and the river, like the 4 shouldn't hit him that hard because I mean 8-5 is kind of a stretch. So you could you could consider check calling here. The problem is he will probably still value bet king queen, queens, kings, sevens. So there's quite a lot of hands that beat you.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't hate a call. I think a call.
I would hate a call here. I don't know.
If you think about his hands, his possible hands, there's quite a few hands that you are beating here. Okay. Because I don't assume aces would value bet this. At least most aces betting this is ridiculous. Don't know anything about the player pool, but that's how I feel about it. So I think the value bets here should be king queen plus. And
he doesn't have too many other two pair.
Like he's not gonna have 5-3 or 5-8. At least a normal player is not gonna have that. So he's not gonna value bet 7-6. He's probably not gonna value bet king 7 even, but that's close. So the value bets are king queen, queen queen, king king, 7-7. That's it, basically. I mean, he would play all these hands this way, but those are not a lot of hands. He could have 5-8 by accident, like. If he has 5-8, I don't know, 10-9 or something.
Ace 8, 5-8.
But there are some hands that missed, like ace jack 10, any flush draw.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of hands he could potentially bet twice and then miss the river and just bet. So I wouldn't hate the call. I think it's not necessary to call it. It's close. But if you think your opponent is value betting also ace king and ace, then this becomes a clear fold. But
the bet size looks more like a value bet to me.
I don't know.
Because like if he would bluff, normally they tend to
bet big. Yeah, sure.
Bet big.
Sure, maybe. Oh.
Especially on the micros.
Let's move on.
That's a good hand.
That's a decent hand, yeah.
Get in all the money.
Sure. Now you get called by everybody at the table. Flop is deuce 3-4.
Don't jinx it. He's like, Maybe he doesn't know what he needs to do. I would certainly raise this.
Well, you can bet. You can't raise.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. How much is too much?
You wanna bet big
Like,
here, like at least 80 cents, maybe more, just because there's a lot of straight draws possible, and those draws are not folding.
this is big.
So one thing to consider is if you bet more than $2 here, you're never folding to a raise anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well pot it to give him the worst odds. Like it's pretty obvious if you bet $2 here, I mean he's not gonna bluff raise you.
Yeah,
so this is
really.
just to protect maximum. So, yeah.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Unlucky.
Really. I hate the PLO.
You should run better, but his hand on the turn there had 35%, which might be surprising. He has a pair and a flush draw and a gut shot. Does the coaching session go on YouTube? Hopefully. If I'm not too lazy.
You don't have the music on, do you?
I don't have music, no.
Yeah, we thought of doing this like kind of every week from now on. And then I play, let's say, 2,000 Omaha hands. Are you always going to call here?
Yeah. I'm not folding my big blind. I'm not folding my big blind to a small bet raise. Like, what year is this? 2012?
You think he is? He is. Okay. Start with a call, I guess. If he checks, I'm gonna... Like, blind on blind.
So, I would check back. I will explain later why.
Okay. I hate this.
That's fine. You have a flush draw. You have a flush draw.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, don't bet. Why would you bet?
Because it's fine.
No, it's not like a bet needs to accomplish something.
Okay, we have showdown value.
Yeah.
Check the showdown.
So a bet, you don't, or
yeah, but maybe I'm overplaying my
you
draws
usually don't want to bet without a reason. And there's no reason to bet King 9 on this board. You're not getting called by verse. You don't need that much protection.
Yeah.
You just, if you bet here, you're basically putting money in against better hands on every street.
Yeah.
So since you don't need to bluff and you also don't need to protect your hand that much, at least. I mean, of course, protection is always in pot limit is always irrelevant. Like just because there's so many ways that they can improve.
Yeah.
But you don't usually want to bet a hand that doesn't need a lot of protection.
If it's a multi-way pot, I'm gonna call. If not, I'm not. Right?
That's incorrect. I would prefer to call this heads up than multi-way.
Okay, really?
But I think this is still a fine call.
I wasn't too sure because the ace is not.
Yeah, but still, you're getting a good price.
Check raise?
I would lead out on this type of board if I was, because I think I really don't need to, but I think especially this hand works out nice as a lead. Until check. Definitely check raise, yeah. Definitely check raise.
How big is it? Like, do I make it 90? I'm not sure.
I would make it more.
About the sizes.
I would make it more, yeah. This is fine. I mean, you don't want to. If you make it small, then you have a hand like 6-7 always calling profitably, and that's. I mean, he's often gonna have that hand, or a hand like that, or could even have better hands. So you don't wanna give them too good of a price. That's different on paired boards, maybe. Like if the flop is 9 deuce deuce, if you have a raising range there, you probably wanna make it a bit smaller. But on boards with draws, I don't like making it too small.
Okay. No, I don't have a pot size, bet size button because I play sitting goes. You normally don't need a pot size. I have a max for all in, which is in sitting go. It's kind of the same, I guess. That's not good enough, I guess.
No, it's not. Certainly not.
So much folding. She's bad, man. I came to Omaha 6 max. Come on. That's not good enough either.
So yeah, we'll be making most, or it's planned to make a weekly coaching session here with Dave, and we will do both live play on Zoom and also maybe some hand review of past hands that he played. Certainly gonna be cool.
I also sort of like taking the when I play Omaha on stream, that I upload that as well. That we have like a complete coverage of it. I'm not sure yet. Min raise. I'm gonna call here.
Yeah, sure.
So come on.
The price, if you get a good price, even if your hand is not fantastic, it's just equities run pretty close.
Check call.
I would start with a check. You don't want to build a big pot here with this type of hand. It's very marginal in both ways. Like the 10 is good, but the other cards that improve your kind of. I mean, you have a huge draw. The problem is that not all of your outs are to the nuts. So if the club draw is good, then it's fantastic. If your straight draws are good, that's fantastic. But the 10 is to the nuts. Yeah, sure. I mean, 10 cents. He has only he has very little behind. But I would not raise. I don't think you're getting folds ever, and you don't have the best hand here, ever.
Yeah.
So, you can just be grateful that they gave you the card cheaply. You know, like
I need to find him.
If you buddy list. No, I'm just saying, like, by raising there, you're never getting a fold, and you're always gonna put in your money bad. So you just make his strategy good.
Yeah.
but by just calling, you make his strategy. You exploit him.
Like, because the sitting goes, you try to blow your opponent off the hand, but that doesn't work.
No, that doesn't work on this type of board. I would raise that. Yeah, I would raise that. On this type of board, nobody's folding.
Yeah.
So you can call, you can raise, it doesn't really matter. Both is fine.
If he leads out here, I'm gonna...
Well, what are you looking to accomplish by the raise? If you get your money in on the flop, you will be up against 10-10, deuce-deuce, or a huge draw. So the better strategy is to wait for the turn, and now we'll just shove, because now you're crushing the draws, and you still lose against 10-10, but that's fine. Like that's okay.
Setup, I guess.
And now at least if he decides to stick his money in with 4-3 and diamonds, you're gonna be a favorite. When on the flop you're not, or you're flipping basically.
I already feel like a winning player.
Yeah, it's totally winning. So yeah, I mean that's just with top set. I think raising is better because you have more chances of getting money in against lower sets before the board changes. But with the middle set, I think both is viable. And with bottom set, I would always just call. Just because when you raise with bottom set, against normal people, if the opponent is a lunatic and will stick his money in with top pair and nothing else, then of course that changes. But
fold. Out of position, 3 is bad. Aren't too good.
It's too expensive. If it was just raised and card, then sure we can.
So much folding. Would open this. Or am I overplaying my button here? If I open something like that.
I would usually open that on the button. I fold it too, but not when someone else shows interest in the pot.
Call, bet kings?
Yeah, that's a good strategy with kings, usually. Trying to spike the top set. There's some other flops you can obviously continue on. If you flop a good straight draw, with an open, let's say you have a gut shot and the overpair or something.
Call once?
I don't think so. I think the hand is too weak.
Yeah, because there are only bad cards coming.
At the 6 gives you a straight, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's not too exciting. If a lot of money goes in, then.
That's true. Thanks, Max.
So yeah. And there's also a concept that in Omaha, the currently best hand is not worth a lot if you are not able to continue with it.
Yeah.
Like you just if you call here with the kings, and the turn will bring a bad card for kings. Like there's almost no good card.
Folding.
I think we can call. Don't know. Like the hand is not fantastic, but we do have some flops which we hit pretty hard with the 10.
Yeah.
And with the jack 10 and with the flush draw. So there's a good number of flops we can either hit on or represent a strong hand for some reason, and just we're getting a great price. So yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do here except if you have the ace of hearts. If you have the ace of hearts, just betting big on the rivers makes sense. But I would not try to steal the pot. I mean, maybe it works to bet here sometimes.
I don't think so.
But
I don't think so.
Maybe doing it with like the queen of hearts as well is fine.
He's never folding 2 pair here, is he?
I don't know. I would fold in this spot.
Even if no one was betting on the...
It's just so likely that someone has a flush, you know? If there's 12 cards in play, like someone needs 2 hearts in his hand. That's just pretty likely. I mean, maybe he doesn't fold, I don't know, but I usually give credit to people betting in multiple pots.
I generally don't give credit to people.
Yeah, I know. Big mistake.
Not at all.
Big mistake.
Works fine for me on the sitting goes.
So one thing to consider here is the draw is worthless basically. Like your draw, it might look to a beginner. Like it might look to a beginner yet you improved with this card, but you didn't.
Okay.
The hand is completely worthless in a free pot with a 9 and flush draw and nothing else. It's just putting any money in the pot in any way is a mistake.
Okay.
Like betting or check calling, that's a big mistake.
Yeah, just completed here because it was 3 cents.
Yeah, I know, but on the flop or on the turn. I mean.
Oh, that's an awesome hand.
Yeah.
If there were 2 aces in here.
2 spade aces.
No.
Then he would be a cheater. Then he would get banned from PokerStars forever.
It's a feature.
Just imagine you showed on the winner and you have 2 ace of spades for some reason.
You have 5 aces.
So I like a bet here. I think that's okay. Like
he's always calling here, you know.
No, he's not always calling.
Yeah, sometimes he's re-raising.
No, it's never. It's never raising this. Just because you have a hand that wants to see the next card.
Yeah.
And you don't really.
That's why
you can't really check call.
Oh, that's a good card.
Yeah, check raise is good. You can also bet if you don't think you will bet too much.
So if you have a really good hand, you tend to check raise.
No, it's just the ace should improve his hand a lot more than yours.
Okay, and
so and he's just gonna bet like ace 10 for value, and it's just
like he open limped, so I'm not sure if that's.
Yeah, sure. I would check call.
Yeah, me too.
Let him bluff the diamonds.
Yeah.
But like it depends on the player, obviously. Like, you can certainly bet.
Yeah.
If the guy is really passive, then sure, check raising doesn't work that well, obviously. But since we have no information, and the ace should improve him more than us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because we never have, we don't have that many aces in our hand, I guess.
Yeah, we're betting the low flop because that hits our range, I guess. And then the ace just doesn't hit our range at all. I mean, I'm not sure how aware he will be of this fact when he limps, but
like at the moment I'm way tighter than I'm normally, I think.
No, that's you're playing fine, I would say. Like there's no hand that you folded that I would open so far.
Okay.
There was no hand that you folded that I would play. There was actually 1 or 2 hands I would not have played.
Best hand.
Best hand ever.
I'm calling this?
I think that's close. I think you can. I don't
Multi-way
think...
is
Multi-way is a
better.
bit better, yeah. Because the main value of the hand is flopping a set.
Hello there.
You're good at flopping sets. You
Yeah, I know.
should coach me. You should coach
Yesterday
me.
was insane. Like every paired hand I had would have made a set.
Yeah.
Like literally like 10 in a row or something like that. Re-raise.
Why?
Because the draws.
That doesn't matter. You're not getting a draw to fold.
Yeah, that's why I want to get money in.
You're not a favorite against the draw. A good draw. I would certainly bet now for protection. I will explain more about this hand after
85.
it's finished. Go sit out next, please.
Oh no, can't we sit out the blinds, man, the blinds.
Okay, we'll sit out next blind, I guess.
Because like,
But is it even? Do you even lose anything by sitting out next hand?
oh,
I'm not
you mean
sure.
that? I think so. Yeah.
Maybe it just pauses.
I think you will always start with a big
okay.
blind if there are 6 hands.
Then let's sit out next blind, I guess. It's fine.
Raising this one because of the suited eights.
Yeah, it's okay. This is close again. So if the
It's like it's close because of the 4-5.
no, it's a fine hand, but this would hate to get re-raised. So if the button is playing aggressively, then you might want to fold it. That's a good check.
Thanks. Instant check. You saw that?
This
Because-
the APM man, StarCraft Pro from Korea. Huh?
Cool. I actually can't see the names. Because I have to hold them in.
That's fine. Whatever. Who cares?
Sorry. Yeah.
Good. Well played.
If you need coaching,
just I'll let you know. Also, you're good at getting good hands and flopping sets and stuff. That's always that's more important than playing well. Just getting them aces, double suited.
yeah, the thing which bothers me is I don't have the kings on top of that. And they're folding all the time. This is the micro.
What happened?
I'm sorry. Let me see it again. If I sit out next big blind, then it automatically closes the...
Okay, that sucks. Maybe you wanna wait until you're under the gun, and then first click sit out next hand, and then close fold your hand. So maybe something like that.
Just folding here.
I would free bet this, but that's not mandatory. It's just against the min raise from the button. I think I have the best hand here all the time. Should be betting this flop pretty often, but I think this is one of the better hands to check actually. Like on this type of board you want to bet very often, but this hand doesn't need to bet. This hand is a good hand to check call. So kind of want to do that.
Calling it. Am I calling again?
Sure. And that's really bad, river. But we're just gonna check fold, I guess, to a big bet. Yeah, that's fine. But you lost the minimum here, and you make yourself tougher to play against by check calling these kind of hands. Because what's gonna happen is if you bet, he will fold hands that have less than 10% against your hand. And if you continue with the hands that are flipping or beating you. So you're not getting a lot of value by betting. But by checking, you might induce some bluffs and you keep the pot small in those cases where you're behind.
Okay, for me at the moment, Omar feels like you're slow playing every single hand.
Not necessarily, just...
Yeah, I know.
You don't have maybe you don't have the best understanding of what a good hand in Omar is. Because on King, Jack, 5 with 2 hearts, Jack, Jack with nothing else is not a great hand. Like this is not a massive favorite over the range that people will get in.
Did you call here? Or is it too bad?
I would. Suited is. It's nice.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I'm consider calling here. The thing is, like, is a suited ace enough to call here out of
Yeah,
position?
of course.
Okay.
The raise was also a bit small, so I would call any suited ace for any raise. So. I think that's fine. You just it's Oma, you know. So even though you only call for the suited ace, there's gonna be plenty of flops which you can continue in some way,
Yeah, okay.
even without the flush draw. Like there's gonna be some deuce five
Yeah,
flop
yeah.
where you can have a good hand and some two pair and some trips and stuff. So
That's close, I guess. I would raise.
yeah, that's fine.
I thought of what would Johnny do? He would raise. For sure, he would raise.
Of course you would.
Hello, I'm Johnny. I like raising.
I like raising. I like check raising, and I like re-raising.
and I like wrecking you.
I don't like folding. I don't like limping.
I don't like salad, folding, and losing my bankroll.
I think this is a good bet.
Let me overthink this. What do we have?
Nothing.
Nearly nothing.
But it doesn't matter. Like the board is good for your range against compared to his.
But what is his range in this? He
Yeah.
has many like middle-ish hands.
Okay, so your range, assuming the opponent plays kind of normal, which I don't know that's the case, but let's assume he does because we don't know anything else. That's a good open, yeah. Now you raise from the small blind maybe like 40% of hands.
Yeah.
Maximum.
So you have many.
So you have
like
good high cards, over pairs, stuff like that. He will defend his big blind. He will defend a lot of the time, like maybe 80-90% of time. But he will re-raise some of those high cards. So he will re-raise the aces, the kings, the high round ones. So a flop like Queen 9 will hit you a lot harder than him on average. And your hand, while you didn't have any pair or any draw, it does have some backdoor potential with the backdoor nut flush draw. You can also pick up a gut shot on the turn or the ace. So it's not like if you bet and get called, you're always gonna lose the hand.
Is it a really bad hand? It is.
I think that's close. I think. I don't think like
because it's connected like that.
I would probably call. I wouldn't blame you for folding though. Like this hand has a high consecration of equity. So what that means is it will usually miss, but when it hits, it will hit pretty hard.
Yeah, and then
that's a good.
They won't put you on that hand either.
Well, yeah, but mainly it's gonna be difficult to play out of position with hands that are mediocre. But this hand will hit either nothing or pretty strong, so it's kind of easy to play. The question is, do you hit often enough for the 10 cents to be worth it? But I mean, it's not gonna be a big mistake.
No, that's not the case.
It's fine.
We have 0 and 1. Normally I tend to call with that, but I'm not sure if that's even good. But I'm in the big blind.
Good. There's always a call. And that's so. Yeah, I would check here, but I would usually check raise. I would usually check raise this. I think they will bet a lot, and then they will. Well, the problem is.
I don't have a.
You don't have a diamond, so that's hence he's never folding. I would just check. If he bets, you can raise sometimes here.
No.
But
on the other hand, that's 16. Why
like,
16?
Calling is not an option. Like you will always have the worst hand. You can try to bluff him off aces or kings, which he will usually have when he does this, or you can let it go. Like those two are the options. I don't think doing this all the time is good. That's way to lose. By the way.
You said it's a suited ace.
This open is way to lose from under the gun. Like that hand is not that strong.
Yeah, I know that it's not that strong, but okay, you would call with a suited ace normally.
I would just fold it under the gun.
Yeah, I mean, like if you have a suited ace, you wouldn't like open it.
I would open it,
but you would.
If it was a bit better, like if the 4 is a 6, I would open it.
I would raise here. My range versus his range.
Yeah, you can bet here.
Versus a paired board.
I would bet smaller, but because I think 15 cents does the same thing that 29 cents does.
Yeah, that's true. And then I give up. I don't want to multi-barrel this.
Yeah, sure. I think that's how most people play the hand or the situation. I don't think you always need to do it like this, just because you're not getting you're getting him to fold nothing, I guess. But there's plenty of hands that will call, like queens, kings, aces, any jack, maybe even tens or something.
That's a good flop, I guess.
Yeah, betting's fine. Obviously, you're happy if the money goes in here because he will stack off a lot of hands like worse flush draws and stuff like that.
I would still bet here.
Sure, can bet half pot, can check it back to induce. This looks super strong, so you will make sure you get the money in against a flush. Folding is out of the question with a king and flush.
Yeah,
just
I
saying.
know.
I would just call to let him maybe bluff the river if he has nothing. But you can see the ace of flush sometimes here.
Sometimes. I can see it right now. Am I raising here?
Yeah, I would.
It has to, guys.
Okay. That's weird.
Feels bad now. Why is he even like? What is he doing in the end there?
I don't know.
Why is he only betting $1?
I have no idea. Because it's
micros.
It's macros.
Okay, I think we lost. How much did we lose right now?
2 binds, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Hard to read them sometimes.
Feels bad, man.
I don't know.
But the thing is, like, when I play on my own, I don't know if it's a bad beat or if it's supposed to happen, or I don't know. Like this situation with the second tie, or if I need to put my money in, or if I have to be scared of the. But if you say it's okay, then I guess it's okay.
Yeah, that would be a call for me, but it's you're not losing that much by folding. Like this is just marginal, I guess. But I would usually not. I don't try to. Like my big blind is something which I don't like folding in a lot of situations because a lot of hands have so much equity even against like tight ranges. And when he raises from the button, surely his range is not super tight. Most people raise like 50+%.
Yeah, but for me as a beginner, it will put me into.
That's true. Spots. I mean, it will increase. It will be only profitable if you know how to play out of position, at least somewhat.
And I don't know how to play in position, so.
Yeah, I don't think calling is mandatory, but I would call. Let's just put it like this. So this situation is a lot different than the other one with the king and flush. First of all, you flush a 6 high, and then you have 3 opponents. So you don't wanna. You usually wanna check it down. Maybe you can bet the river if they check to you 3 times, all of them.
Plus the 2 pair or high sets or something like that.
But you're not looking to put a lot of money in. I would just fold this, but you can call this and fold the river if he bets again. Because some people will protection bet. Now that this happened, I think it's mandatory bluff. Okay, now you can now that he bets, he probably has full house, but or the queen 10 of diamonds. But
he will never bet a flush here. I think he has a full house because he might. What he probably done on the. Is he ever betting?
Yeah, you're never good. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I know that I'm never good.
So either he was betting on the turn for protection with 2 pair or a set, or he had the royal flush, or that's basically it. I don't think he's betting a queen and flush like this. But I'm just saying, when he checks on the ace, I think you should bluff with your hand.
Okay.
You should pot it because you're not gonna be good often enough in showdown. and it's very unlikely he has a full house. It's the likeliest hand for him to have is a good flush, like queen or jack hand flush. I like betting.
I don't have.
I like betting, sure. Well, even if it just folds like hands like ace high, you will profit from the bet. He had two pair. He had the deuce and he made the 5 for 2 pair. That makes sense. Like, but that's if he just has the deuce, it's just gonna fold.
Should I like kind of squeeze here or just?
You mean isolate the limper?
Sure. Isolate it?
You can do that, yeah. I would. Like.
On the other hand, it's.
I think it's fine, yeah. I can do it. Yeah.
To the max.
To the max. I think this is very close. If the hand was a bit worse, I would not do it. Like even if it was just single suited, let's say the 10 is a spade or something.
Would just fold. Because it's a really. It's make the.
Like this hand will be flipping against the limper's range probably. So you're benefiting from the raise when you can gain position and gain initiative basically.
Hello there.
Again, this is a decent hand, but it's not a powerhouse.
I would raise here due to no, I wouldn't.
Well, you can just pot it and get it in with the short stack.
Okay.
I think that's fine. You can also call and hope for a blank.
Yeah.
That you can get your money in better against some draws.
As soon as I see a draw heavy board.
Sure. So the question is
just to bet in order to protect it.
Yeah.
But as you said, it doesn't make any sense.
So sometimes you can't protect. Like you have a made hand, but you can't protect it because he will always call with his draw. In this case, it doesn't really look that strong if he just bets out for half pot. So I would say there's some significant fold equity when you raise, and then you can protect your hand. In other situations, let's say. I don't know, the guy pots it into 4 people, he's never gonna fold his draw if he has one. So if you don't think you're favorite against the range he will stack off with, then there's not much reason to raise. Want to keep the weak hands in and use your position in those cases. Because if you have position and you call, you will get information about the turn, what will you do, and then you can do it better. Like you can make a better decision, basically.
That's a nice hand.
Good at getting aces, yeah.
I'm also good at getting shitty flops.
Well, it doesn't really matter. Like, how likely is it that he has anything? No, that's too big. If you bet, you want to bet like small, half pot maximum, because if he has nothing, he will just fold, right? If he has a flush, he's gonna call any bet. If he has 2 pairs, he's gonna call any bet. If he has a set, he's gonna call any bet.
I'm gonna check here.
Yeah, that's a fine strategy to use on this type of board. This is almost the same as like Jack deuce. That you can just bet it once.
Yeah.
And then give up. Because a lot of people will just fold on the flop if they have nothing against.
And if you only bet half pot, then it has to be good in 1 and 3, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a bit too weak to call.
Yeah, sure. To makes it.
So yeah, it doesn't need to work very often if the alternative is check back and then fold to a bet. Now, if you have the right kind of hand that can perhaps check back and call a bet, maybe that's a better strategy. Sometimes.
I'm gonna raise this.
I think this is borderline.
Yeah, I know.
This is one flop I would always check back with this hand. Just because don't want to blow up the pot with this marginal hand. Can call the turn. Let him bluff sometimes, you know. Maybe I would fold this, I don't know. Like this is an ugly turn and you don't have a lot of ways to improve. And he bets full pot, so it looks kind of like it doesn't mean that he's super strong, but it means he probably will bet the river again big. So probably not the most profitable car, but on a blank you can certainly call even pots as bets. Like if the turn is a deuce rainbow, then you can just call.
Is that a weak king? I guess so.
But you can still call, it's fine.
Yeah, sure. What I meant is that's not a raising hand, it's a calling hand.
I would really, like, against a tight player from early position, from under the gun opening, I would usually not raise any kings, just because it's gonna have aces so often.
Do I get I never get the right price here, do I?
You do, like, that's no-brainer call, actually.
It's a call. Okay.
Yeah. Like, he's gonna have aces pretty often, but you're closing the action, and you're getting 4-1 or so on your money. And you will always stack him if you hit a king.
Yeah.
That's pretty valuable.
And then I check fold on this one.
Yeah. I mean, if he bets 10 cents, you can call, try to spec a king.
Really?
Yeah.
You're sure?
I mean, it's not the worst idea to bluff this, but not sure.
Yeah, I think it's like his, I don't know.
It's weird that he checks this, but...
I don't like this. It smells fishy.
5
Okay, he
cents.
smells fishy.
Yeah, whatever. Like, just call.
Yeah, sure. What the fuck?
I think he has aces.
Yeah, I think so as well.
But maybe he has ace 6-6 or something for quads.
Oh, aces.
But yeah, it's very hard to give you any really good advice of playing against people who do super random stuff.
Yeah, no.
Like, very hard to see. The easiest way to play this is just bet 30 cents.
Why?
Because he will just fold a lot. And if he calls...
might be still ahead.
Yeah, if he calls and the turn is a deuce, you can just bet again.
The easiest way. Is it? Is it really?
Yeah. I would just call and see what he does on the turn. Whatever. Now he pick up a gut shot.
Yeah.
But if he shoves, he probably has, I don't know, king 8 or king or whatever.
Yeah. I would consider like folding straight away.
No, but some people do this with a marginal hand as well. So they can check down, like, some people do this with like a straight draw and then check the turn if they don't approve. So like a free card play. So I think folding the turn is a bit too tight. You can also, like, you have 2 odds to hit the ace and make the nuts. So I think folding is a bit too tight with the possibility that it just checks back the turn or bets 20 cents again or something.
That's a fold.
Yeah.
It looked fine, but then like I saw that the middle card is missing.
Not doing too hot. Win rate wise so far.
I'm gonna coach you. Big money, Ink. No, you never said that actually. That's a fold. Or is it? I'm in position.
No, calling is kind of bad here. If you want to play this, it needs to be a re-raise. For this to be good, the opener should have a bigger stack, and the opener should be raising kind of loose himself. Well, we don't know that that's the case.
We know that he's worse than us.
Yeah, that's for sure. So same here, like, it's a bit hard to say because we have no information about these guys, so we're just making some general assumptions.
Yeah.
But this could be a re-raise if he opens wide.
Okay.
Yeah, double suited hand in position, always nice.
General assumption, he sucks.
Yeah, like, general assumption is he plays normal for the stakes, like a bit too passive, a bit too many hands maybe, and
It feels like that I don't play that many hands. I'm not sure.
You play 34-19 so far. I think that's pretty normal.
Is that normal?
Yeah, even 34 is a bit high, but you have just been getting good hands, I guess. Maybe normally something like 25-20. So you have a bit more hands, but you had some aces and stuff, and
I had all the aces in the world. didn't bring too much, but that's a quite good rundown, is it?
Yeah, can call, can fold. Both is fine. The best way of going about these situations is calculating the number of nut outs you have, and that's free,
0.
three fives. The 5 of diamonds is
not good.
not that good. The hand is a bit better than it looks because it does have. I would fold still, but I'm just saying.
Backdoor.
The backdoor potential of this hand is quite high with the backdoor flush draw and also a lot of middling cards that hit give you a huge draw. So I would probably call this in position against one player. Let's say the situation was you on the button and the razor just continuation bets. I would just peel one. You can represent maybe the flush. You can hit the nuts with the 5, and you can pick up a card that gives you a huge draw.
Is this close?
This is probably a fold. The ace 7 8 deuce.
You say it's probably a fold and it's close, I guess.
The problem with this hand is the deuce doesn't work with it, and the ace is not suited, which is the biggest deal.
Yeah, okay. Fold this hand, he said.
He's just gonna get stacked by 10-10.
Don't say this.
You could also raise this. I mean, calling is perfectly fine.
No,
raising
he has tens, Johnny.
No,
he has tens.
That's certainly a value bet, but yeah.
A smallish.
That depends on what you are hoping to achieve with the bet.
Calling,
or what do you think he
calls
has?
with 10, with 5s, with aces. What did he have? Kings.
No. But like, it also depends if you have a lot of bluffs in your range. Like, if you, and I would say that's actually you will have some bluffs here for sure.
I don't bluff.
But if you look at the board again, the board was with a flush draw which didn't came, with a lot of straight draws. None of the straight draws hit. So it's very easy for you to have a bluff here. That means I would size up a bit. Like half pot is...
okay, not enough.
I mean, for your range, maybe your hand wants to bet half pot because that's just a good way of getting called by 10. But if you think about your range there, you have a lot of bluffs, so you might want to bet bigger.
What is this?
I don't know. I would treat this as a check, and if I would check behind, then I would just...
Would you bet here?
No. I don't think like that accomplishes too much. You have a good equity with the flush draw and the gut shot and the jack. You don't want to get raised.
Yeah, true.
Nobody will fold an ace to a bet, I think.
No one will fold now.
Yeah, just hope that nobody has an ace, I guess.
They always have the ace.
But yeah, it would be worth considering raising the flop bet from the dude, the 5-cent flop bet. That depends if you would like to bet if check too, and I think that's certainly worth considering.
I'm always afraid on the micros that they call you down with anything.
But if you have jacks, like that doesn't like if he has anything, you're beating him with jacks. Like if he has nothing, you're beating him.
Yeah, but the problem is not as you said before. The problem is not that I might be ahead, but what helps me? Like I have a gut shot.
You have an overpair, you have a gut shot. That's even if he calls with a trips, you have some ways of improving. There's a high chance he just doesn't have anything and folds, or just calls with a straight draw, and you're actually beating him and are in really good shape, and you have position and initiative. So I think raising would make some sense as well. You kind of quickly just card. I think that's a bit too passive.
Okay. Yeah, it might be too passive in general.
That you just give the 5-cent bet too much respect, basically.
No, I didn't respect it at all. I min bets, I don't respect them.
Yeah,
like,
but
not at all. Normally, I even tend to just raise them.
Sure. I think that would have been a good hand to raise, that's all. But I mean, callings or checking back is also fine, of course. Like there's not, since this is poker, there's not gonna be a clear-cut answer for most hands. Like In most hands,
that's what most people don't get, because I always be like, I'm in 60% I'm gonna raise, in 25, 35% I'm calling, and in 5% I'm folding because I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to fold the aces pre-flop.
Yeah, because it just went AFK. Like the last week, I think I folded aces twice or 3 times.
I think call is good, yeah.
I wandered off to story time. So we have 4 to the nuts.
Yeah. And 2 back to flush. So if it's cheap, we can take a card off. But if someone pots it, we probably need to get out.
4 to the nuts means like I have 16% to the nuts.
Yeah, but there's some implied odds.
Okay, put in maybe 4%, so I have 20%. Yeah.
Yeah. But calling is good, yeah. Unless, with this hand of draw score.
That's not too bad.
It kind of sucks.
What?
You have no nut out.
That's awesome.
The kings are worthless on this type of board, so you're only playing your 7-6. And first of all,
I'm sorry.
I would just fold, actually.
Really?
Yeah. He's a tight player. Look at his stats, 17-4. Do you think?
But he can't see us.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you should call that. No, he's tight passive, and he pots on this turn, and the best you can hope for is a split pot.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is actually that's not a good argument for calling pots as bets out of position to hope for a split pot.
Yeah, that's true. Just true. You got me there. Oh, look, we have a gut shot.
No.
We have a really shitty flush draw, and we have top pair.
No, that's good. I like the check. Don't want to bloat the pot yet. Now, that's
a call.
Yeah, I mean, he bets 10 cents. That doesn't look super strong to me. Like, I can certainly... But he has raisings fans. Like, that would be for protection here. You have ace free for 2 pair. You're just protecting your hand.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Basically, I would treat this also like kind of like a check to me.
Yeah.
And I would certainly bet this hand in position if check to twice with the 2 pair.
I would rate it as I have a draw. That's what I normally do with like these small bets.
Sure. That's also good.
Is that a call? No, that's not a call.
No, probably not. As I said before, I would probably call, but
but you're insane, man.
But I'm kind of, first of all, it sets a tone. I like to set a tone for the table that I'm not folding my blind. I'm just not
ready. I'm not ready for.
This is too loose. The kings are too bad.
Yeah.
So I like to make sure that the opponents know that they better not try to steal my blind because I'm not folding it. That will give you a lot of folds, just a button and small bet fold, and you pick up the pot because they're afraid that you will stick around and be annoying and check raise them a lot and stuff.
Yeah, but I see. But I like to do that in my sitting ghost stakes as well.
But maybe you don't have enough experience to get away with this strategy.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like betting. You have a hand
that's... it's not hitting his range too much.
Well, not... Yeah, sure, but it's mainly that you want to see the next card and you don't want to check card it.
And you don't want to see that card, actually?
I mean, he's not always going to have a flush. I would probably just bet the river. Kind of big. Just because he checked behind the turn, so he's kind of capping himself. He's saying, I don't have a great hand here, so...
You know what you did?
What did he do?
Which we didn't do like a lot today. We won a hand.
Yeah, that's nice. Always nice to win. No, but I'm saying, like, I would not always bet this, but if I check, want to have something which can sometimes win the showdown at least. If you check with 10 high here, it's just saying, okay, please. I'm bending over. Please take me. Please take me from behind. I like it that way.
What is this? We have a straight. He has a straight.
Wait.
He has a higher straight. He might bluff. He
I
has
would
a higher
call. I
straight.
would call. Yeah, sure. It's
You owe
cheap
me,
enough.
you owe me 20.
No,
Okay.
it's cheap enough.
Yeah, okay.
If you check back twice, you're not showing any strength, so you might invite a lot of bluffs from just nothing, you know. While
Look, I have aces.
that's good, yeah. Well, if you bet and the guy calls, he needs to have some kind of hand to call with, so it's not that often the case that he will come to nothing. Yeah.
Welcome to the world of pain, which is made of aces and re-raising. I like that flop.
Sure.
I'm gonna raise here.
You bet. You can't raise first.
I'm sorry.
I would bet big. I would bet at least 80 cents. Just because there's a lot of straight draws. Yes, you have the flush draw as well, but
how many straight draws does he have here? Not that much.
6, 7, 8. There's so many hands that can continue, so you want to charge them. And you want to set up on a lot of turns, you just want to go all in.
Gonna set up lethal.
Yeah. So, yeah, he folded, but I mean, he probably just didn't have anything.
That's top 2.
Yeah.
Just call?
Yeah. Don't think we need much protection. We probably raise that.
Yeah, what? Hello, darkness, my old friend.
No, me kicks it back.
What's he doing? What is this?
Oh, hard to read them. But at that point, it's just a race for value because we think you have the best hand 100% of the time.
Plays it with impossible to read them.
Yeah. If the guy folds in the small blind, I think I like a re-raise a lot. Okay, never mind.
Call?
No, fold.
No? It's a suited ace with the jacks and the 9.
Yeah, but you're in really bad shape if he has aces or kings, and that's gonna
that's what I don't know. How many percent, like what percentage do you have versus
against
like
aces? Like 30. And playability is not good because unless you hit a jack or a flush draw, you just need to fold on the flop if you bet. So you often will flop like 20% equity or 15% equity, but you can't continue the hand.
Okay.
So you just fold some equity away, and that's kind of bad. Also, the relative position sucks if you call, because then
because I'm in the middle. I'm saying.
Yeah, the guy will just bet and you fold. You actually fold bad kings under gun. Yeah, that's one thing that players from normal totem will be shocked to hear.
Yeah.
But
no, I would have folded those kings without you saying that.
Okay, I think checking back is better because the hand just doesn't want to play a big pot.
I do.
Okay, you do. And the hands that fold here, you will have crushed anyway. Like the hands that fold to this bet, you will have 90% anyway. So by checking back, you will get more money on average while making pot control.
He was thinking really long.
Yeah, sure, you can bet again for protection, but you're not getting a lot of value from this bet.
I'm getting more value than we made in the last half hour.
All right.
Shame. Yeah, no, I see what you say.
The hands that call you to this bet are flipping with you or beating you. That's the problem.
I was beating him all the way. He just rivered me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No.
How much percent do you think he has against your hand? On the flop and on the turn?
Shall we put it in your calculation thing?
I mean, I know the answer. I don't need to do that. He has like 45%, right? And that's one of the best cases. He could easily have hands that you just have, that you are drawing dead against, basically.
Okay.
If he calls you of top 2, which he will, then you're just drawing dead and you put in money bad. By checking back, you make sure, let's play this hand out first, because you have a good hand with the nuts.
I think he when I check, he will check as well.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So I'm gonna bet here.
That's good.
And then I never see him
So
betting this.
now go on. Wait. Go on. Sit out next hand, and then fold your hand. Then we'll sit out from the big blind and go back to the other hand because it's an important concept. Since on the flop we have 2 pair obviously, but it's bottom 2 pair with no redraw.
Yeah.
So the problem is if we bet and get called, we'll get called by hands like 8-9-7, which is slightly ahead against us. 8-6, which is crushing us. 8-deuce, which is crushing us. And if he calls with a hand like the one he had, which is pretty like that's a loose call for sure, but it's just gonna have that sometimes. He's still gonna have decent equity with deuce. I think at 9-10 queen or something. Deuce 9-10 queen.
I'll look it up.
So
queen 9-10 deuce.
okay, so on the flop he probably had like 40-45%. On the turn you're drawing dead or almost dead. Like you can hit an ace and hit ace or six. So you have like 15% or so. So you're just putting in money bad.
Yeah,
I would say on average.
Yeah,
that's against the portion of his range that has a 2 pair. If he calls again with a draw, he probably has a pair plus a draw. A hand like 8-9-7 would make a lot of sense, or 8 check 10-9, something like that. So then you're putting in money flipping, and you're saying you're protecting your hand, but you're just putting in money bad. is my point.
Yeah, I see that.
So
I'm still overvaluating like mate hands.
That's a mate hand that's not worth a lot. And by checking back the flop, you keep in all his hands. Like by betting, you fold out just the overcards, right?
Yeah.
And by checking back, you make sure that there's still going to be enough weak hands in his range. So now, if the queen hits and he checks and you bet, we will get some value from hands that just now picked up the queen and have like ace, king, queen, 7, whatever, and are drawing pretty slim against us. So
okay, so at the moment
you're overvaluing weak mate hands because and you're overvaluing the value of betting for protection.
Yeah.
Because against a good draw, you're just putting in money bad, even if you have the best hand, which. The best hand is the currently made best hand is probably not often a favorite against good draws. So yeah, just
I want to bluff this, but it's bad.
So yeah, I mean that also goes back to kings, because kings is often a bad made hand on a lot of flops, and then you will have trouble continuing. So that's why you should fold weak kings.
Yeah, unless you hit another king.
But then that's a speculative hand, and
the same problem with the weak aces, I guess.
Yeah, but aces are aces. Like
no.
First of all, if you get re-raised with aces, you can usually put just your money in with 100 big blinds and be ahead and be in a profitable spot. That doesn't happen with kings. If you get re-raised with kings after raising under the gun, you just need to fold probably. With big kings.
I read a quote which said like you should always 3-bet bad aces before the flop, something like that. Like not always, but what was it say in the multi-way part? Or you should always 4-bet them, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about descent first, because that's gonna be interesting.
Calling.
Mm-hmm. Good flop. You're good at this game. I mean,
is that a good flop?
Yeah, it's fun. You can't really hope for much better. We have a gut shot and we have a flush draw and we have top pair. So.
What? 7%.
Yeah, it's fucked. That's one of the problems with re-raising bad hands, because people don't fold, and then someone will just have a better hand than you. So yeah, I mean, That's just pure, like, a gambler.
Like him.
Probably
it the
to
same?
lose. The card from the small blind
Yeah, I
50 cent
know.
is probably to lose. Just because you're out of position.
The flop says you're lying.
It's not that great of a flop. It
I
looks a
know.
lot better than it is.
I know, because of the flush draw.
And it would be a lot easier to play if we were on the button here and could see
Yeah.
what happened.
But he's on the button.
I mean, bets full pot. I don't think we can fold with this hand. He's had too much equity, but we're not. It's the deuce is good. The other hands, the other ways to improve. Easy check.
Yeah, no, check raise.
But like, if you don't hit the deuce offsuit, it's gonna be very difficult to play on a lot of turns, just because it's gonna be so mediocre.
The thing is why I'm waiting. I don't want to give timing tells. That's
Doesn't matter. It's never folding. Never.
I know, but
And you lose. Sick.
come on.
So yeah, I mean, against his hand, we're actually fine, but
Yeah, no.
you don't know that the flush draw is good, for example. That is also not a great strategy to limp this one.
No.
I think raising or folding is
Okay.
both better. But flop is good for us. Should bet big.
So we won 1 second and we lost it right away. But it was fine though.
I mean,
How much?
when the money went in, we were like 70%. So like, on the flop, we're probably also flipping. So
That's a fold, is it?
yeah, probably. So I would say that like, that's just variance, right?
Yeah.
Of course, that's.
Yeah, I have to get used to like these big swings and.
I mean, that's not losing 2 binds. It's not a big swing in Omaha.
I know, but
I've played sessions for 1 hour. That's a really bad card.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was in a big blind versus a small blind.
Okay, that's fine. I've had sessions where I play 1 hour and lose 15 binds, no problem, or win 15 binds, no problem. It's like just by nature, especially if players are playing aggressively, which is not the case here, but at higher stakes that will happen.
We had 72.5%. Just give it up.
But just by nature of aggressive Oma, the money will go in quite often.
Yeah.
And
because you have to protect your equity.
you will be very often in situations where you have the money going in, both players can't do anything about it, and it's just gonna be like 50% easy call.
Easy call.
Against button range. I don't lead this flop ever, so I will always check, insta check. It doesn't matter if you do it easily or not.
The thing is, do I call?
It depends on the bet size. I would not call full pot, I would call half pot. I mean, your hand is not, can't improve that well, but you have top pair, top kicker, and he will have a wide range as well from the button. He will bet this flop pretty often, and then you will probably slow down a lot on some turns.
If he bets this, and then
you just need to fold. But you can continue on a queen, on a 10, on an ace.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of turns where we'll just check behind, and then on the river you can either choose to show down your hand or you can turn it into a bluff. So there's a bit of playability here.
That's yeah.
That's the kind of hand you want to free bet only against loose openers and call against tight openers.
Okay.
That depends on the opening range, which we obviously don't know because we don't know the play pool. But if you assume the guy's opening like 20 or 30%, then free betting this will get you into trouble. This is probably fine. The games are playing tight enough that you can probably open a bit more then most players are playing kind of tight passive.
Yeah.
I would say. So you
I do as well.
So you can probably open a bit more hands and can get away with it because they don't punish you, they don't free bet you light and stuff like that. Would bet always.
Big, I guess.
Yeah. Just you have a range advantage. You have a hand which needs protection. You don't.
Yeah.
The hand doesn't play super well out if you check back because there's so many turns that are kind of ugly for you.
True.
So.
True. Oh man, this will get really hard when I'm on my own.
Why?
Because Omaha.
I mean,
Like compared to when I play like sitting go tables, all of them.
sure, but it's just practice. I would open that one. For
Yeah,
this moment.
I thought so. That's a nice hand, is it?
It's fine. I mean,
I wouldn't. Would you 3-bet instead of like misleading your hand?
that's a good strategy. But I would want the opener to be loose.
Okay.
Just because I don't want to get
Yeah.
4-bet by aces, and it will happen a lot. Like if you 3-bet this against the under the gun opener who is very tight, they will just have aces so much and they will 4-bet it, and then you call and hope to hit.
Yeah.
At that point you're priced into call, but on the other hand you don't really want to put money in like half your stack with, I don't know, 40% or so.
I'm gonna call this.
Call sucks. The way these games are playing, I think either raising or folding is both fine. Just because you're getting so many folds. That's very different to 88 poker, for example. Is you're getting a ton of folds. So isolating, betting here is kind of bad, I would say.
Yeah.
By checking back, you will get more value because this is not a hand that you are looking to get all in with on the flop. You will be crushed if that happens. But by don't see any reason to raise. By keeping the weak hands in, you will make more money on average.
Now I see a lot of reasons to raise.
Yeah, sure. If you bet small, you can put the money in, hope he has a straight. This is a weak player, so I will say this: if you raise against a strong player and get caught, he will have a better full house. But this is a fish, so like if he has Jack 10, he's probably just gonna call.
I'm Kamlan's twin brother, actually. We're not identical though.
Yeah, he's better looking.
You know what's up.
I know what's up.
I'm funny as well.
Yeah. So the reason for checking the 9 queen with 9 10 8 deuce is not only slow play, it's also pot control against better hands.
Yeah.
And you don't need any protection. Like against the hands that would fold to the bet, they probably have no equity anyway. So
yeah. For me, it's really hard to put them on ranges. What I normally do in sitting outs is like I'm pretty aware what the range they can have, and they only have 2 cards in their hand, obviously not 4, and it's not cash game. Yeah. So the ranges are really, really narrow. And here it's like he can have like nearly everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to put him on. For example, here he can have
he can have a lot of stuff. But I would just bet. I mean,
because I have
for protection. With top pair, top kicker, you want protection. You don't want him. You don't want to give a free card to a hand like King, Queen, Jack, 10.
No, got it.
Which will fold to the bet. And the people here play not very aggressively. So I think just not betting a hand for fear of getting raised is not a valid concern here. It's not going to happen frequently enough.
He will never.
He will usually either call or fold, and both is fine.
Did we see a re-raise so far?
No, I don't
like on the flop? I don't think so.
No, they play here tight, passive, and that really require us to play a different strategy a bit. I think this is an easy fold.
Yeah, but 2 to the 6. I thought of, yeah,
Mainly because we're on the small blind, would call from the big blind.
bet aces, isolate him.
I
What
would just call. Just treat this
but
as a
with him like
just treat this as a draw to a set. Like
Yeah.
just treat this as free in hold'em. You
Yeah,
want
set.
to hit the set because
Yeah, so-
if you raise, they will just call, and then the flop will be like this, and you don't know what to do. So now it's easy if you just fold. But if you hit the ace, you can play a big pot. This is too weak of ace's hand to re-raise, I think.
Yeah.
Ah.
Bum. What you gonna do? Oh,
Lol.
lol.
So I would change my strategy here and open a lot looser. Like this would be an open for me. I think like this is close, but with the limper now. But
I would fold here now.
yeah, okay, it's fine. But if the first guy folds, I would just open a lot more, just because people are not re-raising. This is probably to lose though.
Double suited.
Just because a lot of pots play out like just one guy is calling from the blind or something, and then you have initiative, and
Yeah.
they play kind of weak, so you get away with betting a lot of flops. You know.
To lose, he said.
Yeah, I mean,
Not lose enough, that's what I say.
yeah.
Is that that's not a re-raise, it's just, oh.
Yeah, if the razor is so tight, that's probably just a call.
I don't know him.
Yeah, but he has $16, so he probably is not a complete retard. Or maybe he is a retard.
Yeah.
That's how he got the money.
He's sitting down with $60, come on.
So we do have a gotcha to the nuts,
Yeah.
middle pair, over pair, back the flush draw. The kind of hand that wants to take one card off would also probably bet. Just the way the games are playing. Like, I don't think we were getting raised here.
Yeah, I think so.
And maybe someone will call, maybe they will forward.
Yes, aces.
So we can't really get punished that hard.
I would actually bet on this because of the
Sure.
2 things I have.
Yeah. Okay, but it doesn't really matter. But big is good.
Big is good, yeah.
And just, I mean, you have 2 pair. If he calls, you can just check it down and win against draws. So yeah. So in this player pool, we are looking to open wide. We are looking to bet a lot for various reasons, especially in position because they don't really attack us.
Is that a fold?
How should I know? Nothing happened.
Like
Oh, you mean
7,
this?
7 king.
Yeah, I don't like playing from the small blind against the button.
Yeah. No. I know. I would call this.
Yeah, sure.
Now I would fold it.
Yeah.
If that ever was
You're a fast learner, bro. You're so smart.
making them sense soon. Folded.
I would call.
You would call.
Yeah. Because the opener looks like a weak player so far, and the hand has a lot of potential, and you will be playing it in position most likely. So I think it's fine. Yeah, call is good. Raising is kind of.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
That's fine. Like you have the odds to call. You have a huge draw. You don't have the flush draw, which sucks a bit, but
Hello there. It's the 42%. Yay! So lucky that he didn't have the flush draw there.
he had the back the flush draw. That's why it's so much percent. He had set and back the flush draw. But if you look at the hand, you will notice that on the flop, you probably had 40% or so, or 45 even, against the set, just because the straight draw is so powerful.
Yeah, okay. I hate to fold this actually. But the position was too bad.
I mean, yeah, I think you can open up a lot. Like, you can
Yeah,
get away with
the last
raising a lot
time,
more.
the last time you said it, and I opened up a decent hand for me, and you said it's way too loose. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, maybe you don't know the head strength that well, because
Yeah,
10, 10, 6, 7 double suited is better than King, Queen, 5, 3 double suited. Because that
It was
hand.
not 5, was it?
What?
It was not 5-3. King, Queen, 5-3.
Yeah, I don't remember. But still.
Was way better than this.
Way better.
Way better.
So I would not continuation bet against 3 people. It's just not gonna work out.
No. That I know.
Can call this maybe.
Especially not.
Nah, probably not. You have some backdoors only.
Come, Johnny, keep yourself together. You're not gonna call there. That's not good.
No.
Oh, is that? That isn't that the avatar of Lex Welthuis?
Yeah, it is, actually. Maybe it's him. Maybe he tries to sharpen up his PLO game at the $5 Zoom pool.
Man, we played him.
The last hand that they folded on the button is actually close to a call, I think.
It means it's not a call.
I think you can get away with playing a bit looser because they are playing pretty passively. But maybe I should assume that I'm not here and you need to make your decisions on your own. Because one part of playing looser is obviously that
getting into different.
If you will get into more difficult spots, and then you will have opportunities to make big mistakes, which I'm not gonna make. But maybe if you play on your own, you will make them, right?
Oh,
so
you're not gonna make it, but me, I will. Yeah, I see where this is going.
Exactly. So maybe just playing a bit tighter, it's better. But I think if you are the aggressor, you can play a lot looser. Even like you on your own can play a lot looser. Like you can open probably anything from a button, really. Like they won't punish you. They can't punish you. Like this is loose, but I don't think that you will get punished for it.
Yeah,
like you just fold.
I still have a decent hand though.
Yeah, and then you just bet on the flop, and they will fold and profit. It's like printing money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just you don't need to be a genius to do this.
Well, not on the $5, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. The way they are playing, you by playing aggressively, you will just auto profit in some spots like these.
I open this. You'll see.
Sure.
I'm gonna be like, hey guys.
Hey guys, I have a strong hand.
I have 7 high. Come at me.
Hey guys. And the beautiful thing is they can't really like the tight passive players can't really they don't know how to punish this looseness. Because what they do is they fold a lot, and then they re-raise you with aces, but then you actually have a pretty easy car. And
I'm gonna continue here.
Sure.
I'll be like, hey guys.
Hey guys, I have good hands.
And he's like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. And then he's looking at me, and I'd be like, hey guy, still have a good hand. Oh, come on.
Wow, that's not too bad. I would still probably value bet this. Like just shove.
Shove it? Is he ever calling me with words?
King, queen, king, jack. There's plenty of hands. And if you
bet $1 instead of making like,
I don't know. That seems.
I have an offer you can't refuse.
Then you have a difficult situation if you go all in. I want to avoid that.
If you go all in. No, probably not. I don't know.
That sucks. If he goes all in, that really sucks. So avoid that. Just put him all in. Then we avoid the difficult situation.
Look who this is.
Yeah. I don't know who that is. It
Yeah,
looks like
no.
my girlfriend. Just joking.
Austria. To be fair, I don't know who the Chancellor of Austria is.
Me neither.
Look, double suited aces.
Hmm.
Good at this game.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
That's fine. Betting is fine. Checking is fine. Against the player pool, I like betting a bit more. And now you have 2 pair. I wouldn't hate the check back and just try
Yeah,
to
I don't
like if it's a blank and he bets, you can comfortably call, I think. And then it depends how the player pool plays here.
Yeah.
Like if he's never bluffing, then maybe just bet folding the turn is okay as well. Like betting for protection and value, and then if he raises, you assume he has queen 10. And since you have only 4 outs against queen 10, that was the straight, by the way. Then you just get out.
I'm gonna sit out for a second because I need to go to the toilet because I'm so excited as we are printing money now.
Alright.
1 moment.
Alright, guys. Gonna do the same, actually.
So,
Alright.
guess who's on the grind again? Oh man. Yeah. How many hands shall I play like over the week on my own?
Well, right now you have played 220 hands.
220?
Yeah. Zoom goes very fast.
That's not fast.
What? 1 table? 1.5 hour?
For me, that was not fast.
1.5 hour?
So he can have 6, 7.
You have top 2. That's a bet. Top 2 is a value bet.
Okay.
And there's plenty of draws, like Jack 10, clubs, you want to protect.
Yeah.
If you get raised and you give them credit for having either 6, 7 or a huge draw, then you just fold.
Okay.
Because against the draw, you're actually underdog. Like against Jack 10 with clubs, you're like 40% or so. So there's not a lot of... if you believe, like if you think you only get raised by the nuts, which is probably the case here in these stakes, or just both is fine, actually.
If he checks now, I'm gonna bet here, I guess.
The advice I gave you earlier about checking back a lot and stuff is better suited for more aggressive tables where people will stab.
Okay.
Like the way these games are playing right now, I don't have the feeling that people are not trying to steep the pot.
They play fiddle fold.
Yeah. So against higher, like if you play on higher stakes, like let's say 50 buyin,
Yeah.
once you check back, you will have the player pool just stab a lot. Like they will just bet 80% of the time against the check, and then you will gain a lot of value by checking back some top pair hands and then calling them on the turn because they will bluff with nothing.
So here it's probably better not to check back that much.
Yeah, just bet a lot for value. Yeah. So you don't need a balanced range, a checking range against them. The checking range can just be super weak, and they won't exploit it. And you just bet, and that's fine.
Yeah. Hi, cheers.
Hi, cheers. Yeah.
Hello.
But that's something to keep in mind if you ever play higher, right? So for this limit, I think it's the best strategy. Just bet a lot and don't worry about balance.
Yeah, I think we should do it like the whole coaching thing. Oh, double suited aces, climbing up the stack
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
sure, sure.
So then, because we start with the basics,
Yeah. And we want to adjust our playstyle to
look at them.
the little.
That guy, even like together with that avatar. Oh, that's the most
Oh, just
beautiful.
you can check, you can bet. I mean, the problem with betting is that teams just gotta fold, and you have a
Yeah.
huge hand. But yeah, I wouldn't bet now. I think I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oh wow, sick.
That guy.
Lucky they just had like 10 cents, right?
That guy. Yeah. What the fuck? Mad straight there in the end.
But by default, I would probably bet the 6-6 with the flush draw because there's it's hard if you check back. Is the way the people are playing. This is just not gonna bluff you, and it's just gonna check again. And, by betting, you at least get some money in if he has a weak
On the flop.
flush draw or something.
Yeah.
This flop is, I think, just a check fold. I mean, the ace check is just not very powerful here. There's a lot of draws which you don't have, and you don't beat the 7, and you're drawing dead against the 7. So I would
Yeah.
just check
The thing is,
this.
like, how many sevens are in the range? He doesn't have. That's the thing, like, because I would assume that there are not that many sevens in their ranges, which is probably wrong.
Why? A 7 is just a normal card.
Yeah.
If it's a
not-
deuce, then
Right.
that's less likely. If it's a
Okay.
deuce or 3, that's less likely. But a 7 is high enough that people will
Okay.
play it. And I just, like, of course, you could have the best hand on the flop,
Yeah, but
right?
you-
But if you bet and
It-
get called, you have 10% equity most of
it's,
the time, and that's bad.
It's also too expensive to find out if I have the best.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sometimes he will just check around 3 times and he will have the best hand, but I don't think that's a hand you want to bet. But if you have a hand like 10-9 with a flush draw, then that makes a lot of sense to bet because people will just fold the top pair, and if they continue with a 7, you have some equity, you have some odds.
Yeah. So how many hands do I play an hour?
It depends if you play only one table or more. Probably one. You will stick to one, I guess.
That's probably too loose, isn't it?
No,
it's
that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, one table.
So if you don't pause, probably like 200 hands an hour.
I never pause.
Then 200 hands per hour. I would either raise or fold. I would not card this. Just, I think the way people are playing, you will get a
Yeah,
ton of
it's-
folds here. And
Especially because this is like half pot size bet here.
And the good thing about your hand is that it can actually improve. So on this turn, I would just bet again.
Bigger guess.
That's fine. Just make him 40 king. You can improve on a club and a 7.
Yeah.
Because a lot of hands have no equity on king 6-6 if card. But this hand is actually the 7.
Yes. I'm gonna hate to see that.
Just check fold here. You like sometimes he will check back a king. If he bets here, he's always gonna have some slow played hand like king or 6x or king
Yeah.
6 or something.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like I don't think you should do that always, but you can do it sometimes.
Yeah, especially on blind on blind. And
Yeah,
bottom
against
of
the button. Because I don't expect them to fight against this. They will just, like, if they have the 6, they will continue. If they don't, they will just fold.
Oh, aces.
No, that's fine.
It's only single suited. I hate this.
Yeah.
He's mediocre, man.
Yeah, he's so good at flopping the flush draw as well. Crazy.
But I'm not good at getting flushes.
He should work on that. Alright, so by betting, he's saying he has king queen or better.
I have a gut shot. I have an overpair.
Yeah, you can't fold. The thing is, though, I think just calling is better than raising here. Because You can save some money. First of all, it lets the other guy in with a weaker hand.
Yeah.
And wow, it checks. That's so weird.
What?
Maybe he has check 10. I would just shove here, I think.
Yeah, due to the sizes.
It can't be that bad.
It's a pot size bet.
He would just call in if he had kings or queens or king queen. So I guess he was just fooling around with something bad. Or it's really tricky.
What?
No, he's really bad. That's good. Yeah, so
Yes.
I mean,
Come back. I need to...
come back.
Yeah,
Are you up money now?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Look at that. I have 22 bucks. Well, we how many stacks did we lose? 3, I guess, and we won 1.
No, I think just 2 in the beginning.
I think 3 because yeah,
but when you lost the third one, you already had double buy-in, I think.
Yeah, we lost 3 stacks and we won 1, so we lost 2 stacks. Okay. Oh, it's an ace. Oh, it's him again.
Oh, Lex Fighters.
Do you have a parrot?
No.
Sounded like that. And what's the name of him? Like of the parrot?
David.
David. Oh. Must be a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you. Probably not. At the moment, I feel like I'm getting a loser.
So I would call here, but I think it's. I mean, this will depend on your ability to play post flop out of position against the aggressive or against the better hand than yours. No, that's not good.
Top pair, top kicker.
I think now you can bet, yeah.
Yeah, he would have bet.
So now we'll just get a ton of folds, and then if he calls and the river, on the river can either decide to try to show down ace-9 or you can just turn it into a bluff, basically. So making loose cards from the big blind will only be profitable if you feel confident against the player pool to play your hand, which I don't like. Maybe maybe that's the case. I don't know. They don't play super strong, I think. Like.
Yeah, I know, but which is. I can rest this. That's cool. I'm probably quite loose, but.
No, that's fine. The way that the games are playing here, that's totally fine.
Yeah, well, it's not surprising that they are not super good.
Yeah, sure, but
because like for this limit, the first thing you need to learn is tight aggressive, and that's what they all do.
Yeah, but that style doesn't work that well, I think, on these tables.
Yeah, because you have to play the opposite of the table normally.
Like you can probably still be a big winner if you play tight aggressive, but you just know your stuff. Like you know but if you just play tight aggressive and you do the same thing that all the other players are playing, that's not very good.
I would raise this.
You can't raise. You can bet.
For me, it's the same.
Yeah, you can bet, sure.
Because I have way more aces in my range.
Sure.
And I have the nuts.
Sure.
Why not 85? Still the nuts.
Sure.
He's not. Well, the thing is, like, if he has a flush draw, he's gonna fold anyways.
Yeah.
And if he has something else, he's gonna call big.
Big is good there.
Bam.
Bam, easy.
What did he have? Aces.
What the
He had a
fuck?
second.
What the fuck? Okay, tricky, tricky Ricky.
I need to rename him the Punisher. I have a gut shot, and I have an ace.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
you can't see it.
this would be one hand I would check back a lot, but I think maybe that you don't want that to, like, you don't want to check back in these games actually. They just want to bet a lot because they just fold.
If you upload this to YouTube, I'm gonna rewatch it like 3 times.
Alright, that's good. Then we have 3 clicks already.
Max.
Yes.
Greetings going out to Max who's watching this. The third
Just
time.
imagine the revenue on YouTube, dude.
Yeah, it's like not you're printing money on poker, but also YouTube.
Yeah. Same thing. Can fold. Depends on you.
No,
Yeah.
but it's shower poker. Is that a term you use in your chat? Shower poker?
No, that's because they can hear my shower. My girlfriend is showering. Maybe you should move the camera there and then would have more viewers.
You would be banned immediately.
No.
Okay, report it, I guess.
No.
Shit. I thought of calling there, but I think that's not good.
No, that's not good. That's a good fold. When someone enters the pot with a pot size raise, in the way these games play, you need to respect that and kind of like you need a hand that's probably on their level at least. That's a fine hand to call. Yeah.
In position, okay.
Sure.
Okay. What is that?
Pretty easy bet, I would say, actually.
Yeah, because
the raiser will never play, and the other guy might not have anything, and you do have a gut shot on the back to flush draw.
you're wrong.
Then he has, I don't know what he has, but
Flush draw probably.
yeah, whatever.
It's more likely that he has a flush draw than anything else.
Yeah, something like either he's loose and like sticky and just calls you with like kings with nothing else, just because I don't know, he wants to see the card, which is a mistake because you will just get bet off your hand so often, even if you have the best hand. Or he has some kind of flush draw if you want to bet. That's the second option.
How long did we play now?
I think almost 2 hours.
Okay. Because for me, when I will play alone,
Yeah, just
I
do.
think 1.5 hours is like the max I should play.
Okay. No. Maybe we can end it soon. Like,
No.
I think it's.
like-
I think we had some good insights.
Yeah.
We also won some money at the end.
What I learned today was I'm not that good, but everyone else is worse.
Okay, that's good.
And that's all you need to do and know.
Well, if you're the one-eyed guy, then amongst the blind, you're the king, right?
That's what I tell my viewers all the time. If you're like the 5th best player in the world, and you sit down with the first 4 best players in the world, you still lose money.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be the best.
It's just need to be better than the guys you play with. Yeah. That's good advice. So yeah.
Because it kind of doesn't matter how good you are, because there are always people who are worse.
Sure.
You just need to find them and play.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of high stakes live players who are terrible, but they just have good connections and get into the live games with businessmen and restaurant owners and like whatever, and they just play normal, like not great. I would bet.
Check.
I would always bet. Small.
Smallish?
Yeah, small.
Smallish. For me, it's not small.
Because the thing is, you will still get action by a 10, you will still get called by an overpair, and with this hand you don't want to give a free card if because the free card will beat you. Let's say you give a free card to Jack, the Jack comes, that will beat you for loss, right? So when he checks around and the opponents can't really improve to a second best hand, that easily. And you will still get called by a 10, which is good because you have a good one, and you will still get called by overpairs sometimes. So that's also good value.
Yeah.
Alright. I don't like checking. I think it plays better as another $1 bet. There's plenty of straight draws he can have. He can also just call with one pair, top pair. On this,
just give up.
I'm just gonna give up. Yeah, he's usually gonna have 2 pair plus or straight here. So we're just gonna check
put
fold.
him on 2 pair here or Set of Kings is quite unlikely, I guess, because
the 10 was a really bad card. Like if the river's the deuce, I would be very confident we have the best hand. Then the question is, do we value bet it?
We still have the best.
What did he have? Ace King. Okay.
No,
that makes sense as well. Like he has the flush draw on the turn, so that's why he calls again. Okay. I think it's fine. Like you can certainly bluff if the hand that he had, but maybe thought that Ace King was good enough to check down.
Like he was. Come on, I have 3 hands tracked of him. We saw him more often than 3 times.
Maybe if you quick fold, you don't get the hand. Like you don't get the hand history. I don't know.
No, I think because I don't have the Omaha yet. But it kind of already tracks them down. I don't know.
Okay.
Nexus, yeah.
Whatever.
But here's another name.
So yeah, on the turn there with the aces, I think if you have a hand that is reasonably often the best hand, but if you check it, you're check folding, and that was the case. Then it's bad.
The thing is, like I would have called there probably.
But that's bad. That's bad poker. Like that's
because then I put him in a driver's seat.
Yeah, you just are blind. You don't have any control over the hand anymore. Once you check call this turn with this hand, because it can't improve. You will just be at the mercy of him betting or not betting, and he can decide how much he wants to bet, and he can value bet accordingly, because it will look like exactly the hand strength you have is like exactly what it looks like once you check call there.
Yeah.
So it's gonna make it very easy for him to play. When you bet again, you remain uncapped. You have potentially huge hands in your range, like top set and stuff.
Yeah.
So it just works out better.
Did you like that hand?
Sure, fine, standard. Just bet. This is a spot that I would re-raise a lot, yeah.
Okay, because of the range, yeah, I see.
Because the guy is pretty deep with you, and you're very deceptive if you re-raise this hand, and you will pick up a lot of folds on high boards when it comes
what does deceptive mean in that?
Deceptive is he will put you on high cards and you have low cards, so
okay.
That's kind of good.
Is that a rep? Is it called a rep?
That is not a rep, no.
What is it?
And that's I mean, it is a rep. It's an inside rep. It's called.
Yeah.
I would just pot it, but the hand is not as strong as it looks.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
But you want to get heads up if possible, and then check the turn most of the time. Just trying to make your hand. Can bluff, certainly.
I can't bluff you.
Just pot.
He will never believe me.
Do you want to check down 6 high? I don't think so.
Yeah, but I want.
You can have 9-8 easily. You can, like, if he doesn't have 2 pair, it's just insta folds. He has a straight. He has a straight. I mean, of course he doesn't fold a straight. But if he has 1 pair or less, he will just fold.
But he will never like go that far into that hand with a single pair, I guess.
What? Why not?
Because he's tight.
Doesn't matter. Like, there's plenty of draws that missed. The 9-8 draw connected on the river.
Yeah.
Which you could have.
He didn't have straight. Oh, no, he had. Yeah,
and you check down. You can't check down 6 high. Like, that's.
Yeah, well, if I give up, I can.
But I don't know. You played a bit too fast.
The thing is, like, is it like, will he fold in 50% of the case here? And I don't think so.
I think yes. Yeah.
I don't think so. That's why. Yeah, we will never find out. But that's why I would have like check and fold it here.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. You also didn't need to play. You didn't need to bet full pot. I think you can bet like 90 cents, and that's enough to make him fold.
Okay, yeah.
It just depends what he has, like, obviously.
Yeah. I see.
But
Is
it's one of those cases where what?
Are those fishy stats?
No, that's fine.
Because the gap is so big.
No, that's fine. That's natural if you defend a lot of big blinds. That's
Okay.
normal stats. Because you don't want to re-raise from the big blind that much. So if you play loose from the big blind, that's a card, I think. The raise is really small, and you have position, you have a connected hand.
That's fine. Oh, or it's a jack. What is that? That's a bet.
I would bet, yeah. It doesn't look like they have anything. You even have 1-6, so that blocks some straights.
Didn't thought that I'm ever gonna win this hand, ever.
Maybe the jacks were good as well.
Yeah, probably. They're like, what do you have? Nothing? Oh, I don't have anything as well. Okay, the thing, like, what I kind of found out is like that I think my openings are quite okayish in general, but the post-flop game is not good.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes sense because I'm, as a sit-and-go player, that's more of a pre-flop.
Yeah, sure, but you will get there.
Check here.
Why? That's weird.
Because I think he will bet normally in position.
Why? On this flop, ace 9-4. That's a bet that's a flop that heavily favors the raiser's range.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not gonna bet that often, and you have the kind of hand which wants to get value.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you will get called by top pair, you will get called by flush draw.
What is this?
Well, you just check.
Yeah.
Because you can't value bet this hand.
Yeah.
And you will probably call a bet. Maybe, it depends, like, okay. Like, that's a hand you could have gotten a bet on the flop in with like 70% threat. So you just missed some value there. I mean, you would have lost the hand, but so that doesn't matter. But
yeah, I know.
I'm just saying you can get a bet in on the flop with 70% equity.
Yeah.
And that you should do that.
Yeah.
And your hand was not strong enough to check raise, I think. So you're just basically check calling for deception, I guess. Doesn't accomplish that much.
So pair top kicker, really draw heavy, raise it.
Sure. I mean, again, this is the kind of board I would usually check behind, but I'm playing high stakes, so I'm getting raised here by Jack 10 and stuff. So
yeah, okay.
I don't like. I think at this stakes, just bet folding. This is fine. You have now two pair. I wouldn't hate a bet.
Okay, in order to get
just to protect the hand, and if you get raised, you just assume you have the nuts.
Can I bet now?
Yeah, I think so.
60.
I think you have the best hand.
Yeah.
So you can mix it up, but I would advise against most opponents at these stakes to just bet a lot, and just if they raise you, you give them credit for the nuts. And especially bet hands which need protection, but they don't have a lot of outs against the nuts. So you just bet with your two pair. If they raise you, you assume they have the straight and you just fold the hand because you have 4 outs only. Something like that. Yeah. So I would just bet on the turn there with the queen 7. And then if he raises, I'm just going to assume he has the nuts and fold.
It's getting harder and harder to fold bad hands here. Pre-flop.
Why?
I don't know. Like, yeah, because for me, over time, I'm getting looser as a tournament player.
Sure.
I'm not used to like play the same range all the time.
Okay. Well, if you want to play cash games, you should probably get used to that.
Yeah, I know. It's really hard if you play like what, like 80 years of
80 years, that's a long time.
8 years, God. I'm not as old as your parrot.
Alright. Sure. Sure. So,
Check call,
no,
raise.
just bet, yeah. Because you have a hand that wants to see the next card, you have a decent straight draw.
Okay, so if you have a hand which wants to see the next card, you bet.
Yeah, because he might fold. And you have 7 high. So by check calling, it kind of sucks. Now on this card, I would just check fold.
Yeah.
Because now the straight draw doesn't look that good anymore. And it's also not a card he will just fold very often
Yeah.
on. So by doing that, by taking the draws into the betting range, especially the draws with no showdown value, it's very good because you have 7 high. So if the opponent folds his hand, that's a huge victory.
Yeah.
And if you get called, it doesn't really matter that much
you
because
still
you
have
wanted
that.
to check call anyway. So you don't lose
So
much
it's
more.
kind of like if you can semi bluff, you should
Yeah,
semi bluff.
especially like obviously the counter to that strategy is getting raised a lot. If you get raised a lot, that sucks.
Yeah.
Then you wanna check.
But you will never get raised.
But
here.
on this table, you're not gonna get raised, so don't say
Is
the
that a
downside.
check?
Anything.
No,
No,
that's
you
that's
always want to bet this. Always.
big.
Doesn't matter. But you want to bet
Yeah,
at least half pot, and up to full pot is fine. Like doesn't. That's.
But it doesn't matter, does it? Because that's a.
I think people will just.
I would assume this is a good card,
Yeah, it's fine.
and if it's a bad card, he will fold anyways. So like.
Like I would assume that people will just call if they have a flush draw here and fold if they don't, something like that.
Flush draw?
I mean, what is he calling with? Probably a hand like 10 at 9 or something, like a straight draw. And then on the turn, he can't really call anymore unless he picked up the flush draw as well.
Okay, yeah.
So you can make a very small bet, but you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
so.
okay. I tend to slow play stuff, which is really bad here.
No, it's bad. On dynamic boards, there's always they will always have equity.
To me, this is the opposite of a dynamic board.
Yeah, it's hold'em. It's different.
Yeah. So as a hold'em player, this is like
in hold'em
I've ever seen.
In hold'em that's very different because they're not gonna be in the pot with 5-8 or something.
Yeah,
but in Omaha, the guy might have
always
5-8, 6-7 to justify the flop card, and then he's just gonna have the straight draw. Like there's always, even if you have top set on a dry board, there's always equity against you. So the only thing that plays differently is lockdown boards, which are maybe that's a fold. I think the hand doesn't flop well enough. So boards that are monotone, like all in the same color, all hearts or whatever, that's different because there's a flush and then there's not much else. That maybe you can have 2 pair or something, but the straight draws are basically worthless. And then paired boards is also different because if you have a full house, you're not really worried about getting or giving someone a straight or a flush, right?
Yeah.
But on a board that doesn't have a flush or a pair, there's always going to be some kind of straight draw. And since people have 4 cards, and often if you are against 2 or more people, there will just be a straight draw out there. So slow playing is risky.
Yeah.
That is retarded to re-raise here.
No. Let me think first. It's at the moment it's hard to like follow you and
okay.
Because
So I will probably fold, but I think calling is okay. If you call, you need to make up for it though, with some aggressiveness. So raising here is perfectly fine, I would say, with this hand. If you get called by kings or aces, you have the 8 and the queen to improve. If you get called by a jack, you have the queen to stack him, and very often he will just fold the hand. So that makes a very good raise, because I don't think you can call profitably. I mean, maybe you can, but
Especially on a paired board, it's quite unlikely that he has to check.
sure.
Well, it's not too unlikely, but
And even if he has to
more-
check, he's just gonna call, probably.
Yeah.
And then you can
And then,
just
it still
shut
has some
down. And if you hit the queen, you just stack him. And
call.
that's fine, yeah. You can also fold.
We're not gonna
Because
fold.
the opener has a very smart stack. So the hand with...
But he's a dolphin, so that makes me want to play him more.
Sure.
Although dolphins are quite intelligent, but...
Alright, let's use sit out next big blind here.
Yeah.
Do you have any hands which you want to discuss? Maybe?
We could... Oh, I don't have the...
Oh, you don't have the manager. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I will have next time.
Maybe next time. Can go
Yeah,
over
I
some.
will probably... what was this in the fold?
Oh.
That's a raise.
That is a raise. If folded to. If the guy opens, I'll just... I mean, the guy... We have some stats on him. It's only 3 hands, though.
Yeah, that's nothing.
So, this is kind of difficult to...
I always feel bad, like, if I have, like, 40 hands or something like that, or 50 hands, then you come around with, we have 3 hands.
Yeah.
Don't do this, Sylvie.
No, it's basically worthless. But if you continue to play in this pool, you will get some more stats on people.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you will have like 200, 300 hands, and then you can maybe see a pattern. Like the guy likes to fold
Like
out. Free flop.
You must be a dolphin.
Poker king, huh? It's more okay. So that is a good check, yeah. You wanna go 2 streets with this hand of this strength. Like bet. Always bet here. Like the hand is strong enough to go 2 streets, but it's not strong enough to get 3 streets. So you wanna
Gotcha.
you wanna bet twice, unless you think it's very likely that if you check he will bet with nothing. But I don't think that's the case here.
That's a good card.
Sure. So just bet like 60 cents and then
60 cents.
get some value from lower flushes and also,
Even lower flushes.
Yeah, sure. Like 10 is reasonable, yeah. Or some set or 2 pianos or straight. But once he checks back, he's basically telling us he doesn't have the nut flush, so we will never get raised. And I think it's fine to put in 2 streets here with the 10 flush. So this is a board that favors him a bit, so he will probably bet.
Okay.
If he doesn't bet, if he checks back, we can just bet the turn with kind of like with everything, and he will just fold a lot.
And we still have some outs.
Yeah, sure. But if he bets big, we can probably just fold. Checks back. The danger here is that we don't have any spade, but I would still bet.
Yeah.
Just because I think they are very unbalanced. I think they...
That's too big, I guess.
That's fine. 15, I would bet 15, but that's not that big of a deal.
Well, it's a big blind.
Sure. So now he probably has a flush.
Yeah, and the ace isn't too good either.
I'll just give up here.
Yeah.
But I think you can just get away with betting every turn once he checks back, just because he's not going to have anything.
No, he's like...
Trapped him.
Trapped him. I trapped him.
Yeah. Alright. So maybe just try to get some hands in with tracker, and then next week we can discuss the hands.
Yeah.
Especially the hands where you felt.
Today was Let's Run Together. Next week is OMG, what have you done?
Something like that. I don't think, like, I think you can do well. I think with the skills you have acquired so far, it should be possible for you to beat this limit. So let's see.
Let's see if that's true.
No, obviously, like Oma is, high variance. So even if you,
like, I mean, 1,000 hands is nothing.
Your next 2,000 hands won't mean very much. I think either way, like even if you lose or win, it doesn't really tell us much.
When will you do this type of stuff the next time? Next Tuesday, like we together, I will play. I will try to get 1,000 or 2,000 hands in until next time, which I play on stream. 12 at 1, which is this guy here. Yeah, but I will play the 50-50s on the side as well, still, because that's
Sure.
where
That's your main game, yeah. That makes sense.
Need to pay the rent.
Yeah, the rent. Alright. So thanks for doing this with me.
Thank you.
Sure. My pleasure.
Sure.
And yeah, see you next Tuesday, I guess. Yeah.
You